When can the Umrah be performed? So when it comes to performing the Umrah, unlike the Hajj, of course we know the Hajj has a specific season and there are particular months and there are particular days where the rites of the Hajj will be performed and completed. With the Umrah, it's a lot more flexible and you can pretty much do it any time of the year. Is there a better time? According to most scholars, not necessarily. But if you look at the life of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, some scholars say, well, actually, when you analyze, each time the Prophet ﷺ went for Umrah, it was around the month of Dhul Qa'dah, which is the 11th month of the Islamic calendar. Was there a reason for this? Did he do it intentionally? Only Allah knows best. It's one of the sacred months of the Islamic calendar, and perhaps for practical reasons, it could even be a coincidence that it all happened in Dhul Qa'dah. So some scholars may recommend you to go then. And others, they would use a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he encouraged the Umrah in the month of Ramadan. Because performing the Umrah in the month of Ramadan, he mentions, as mentioned in a few hadith narrations, is equivalent to a Hajj. So perhaps it is better to go in Ramadan. Just on a side point, however, Ramadan is perhaps the busiest time of the year when it comes for Umrah. Outside of Hajj, it's the busiest time. Some people even say it feels even busier than Hajj time. So many people are there. So it might be a bit difficult for some of you. But outside of that, to answer the question, generally speaking, you can perform Umrah whenever, right? It might be during a holiday period. It might be outside of that. Inshallah, there is no problem. You can perform the Umrah whenever you want. Just to keep in mind again, for practical reasons, after the Hajj season comes to an end, so after the days of Dhul Hijjah, usually leading up to Muharram, there is a bit of restrictions for international pilgrims. That's just something that the Saudi authorities have decided just to clear things up after the very, very busy Hajj season where you can understand millions of pilgrims have traveled there. But after that, generally, it's pretty much open. So if you're planning on going for Umrah, then of course base it around some of the few points that I've mentioned there. If you can aim for Ramadan, that's great. If not, just aim for whenever you can do it, and inshallah it shouldn't be an issue. And if there are any issues and questions, then it will be best to contact your local travel agent.
Follow us and subscribe now on all things Hajj and Umrah.